Welcome to a guided meditation for debt anxiety on Declutter the Mind. Financial stress and debt anxiety are among the most common sources of chronic worry in modern life. And so, when we're dealing with debt, our minds can become consumed with worst case scenarios, endless calculations, and feelings of shame or overwhelm. And so, this practice will combine various mindfulness techniques to help you develop a healthier relationship with financial anxiety. And so, let's begin by finding a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down, placing your feet flat on the floor if you're sitting, allowing your hands to rest in your lap, taking a deep breath here in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. And then slowly exhaling through the mouth and just gently closing our eyes here, starting here by turning our attention to our thoughts, to our current state of mind, especially if we are in a moment of debt or financial challenges. And so instead of trying to push these thoughts away or trying to solve them right now, we're going to practice observing them with curiosity rather than judgment. And so allow any thoughts here about your financial situation to come into your awareness. And you might notice thoughts like, I'll never get out of debt, or I should have been more responsible, or specific worries about bills or payments. And so when these thoughts arise, we can imagine them as clouds passing through the sky of our mind. And so some of these clouds are dark and heavy, and these might be your most anxious thoughts. Others might be lighter. And notice here that you are not the clouds. You are the sky itself, spacious and unchanging, simply observing what passes through it. And so if you find yourself getting caught up in a particular worry or starting to problem solve, that's completely normal. Simply notice that this has happened and gently return your attention to the breath, to the body breathing on its own, to noticing each inhale and exhale that passes for the next few moments. And each time you notice that you've been pulled into anxious thinking and return to the present moment, you are strengthening your ability to respond to financial stress rather than react from panic or overwhelm. And remembering that thoughts about debt are not facts about your future. They are mental events that arise and pass through consciousness. You don't have to believe every worried thought your mind produces about money. We can also practice some skeptical observation of our mind the next few moments before bringing our attention back to the breath and not allowing ourselves to get caught up in thinking or thought. And as these thoughts come and go, we can also acknowledge the emotions that often accompany debt anxiety. You might notice shame, fear, anger, or feelings of helplessness. And all of these emotions are valid responses to financial stress. And there's nothing wrong with experiencing them. And so if you notice shame arising, remind yourself that financial difficulties are extremely common and don't reflect your worth as a person. Shame keeps us isolated and prevents us from taking helpful action. And if you notice fear, you can acknowledge it with kindness. Fear about financial situations often comes from a place of wanting security and stability for yourself and loved ones. And so this is natural and understandable. And if anger comes up, maybe at yourself or your circumstances or systems that contribute to this stress, we notice this too without judgment. Anger can sometimes motivate positive change when channeled constructively. And so, whatever emotions you are experiencing, practice offering yourself the same compassion you would give a friend facing similar challenges. And so, in your mind, silently repeat to yourself, this is a moment of financial stress. Financial stress is part of life for many people. May I be kind to myself in this moment. And debt anxiety often pulls us into the future. It's worrying about what might happen, how we'll make payments, or whether we will ever be financially secure. And so let's practice anchoring ourselves in the present moment where we actually have the power to take action, where we have control, where things aren't just hypotheticals. And so bring your attention to 5 things you can hear right now. Maybe it's the sound of air conditioning, the traffic outside, your own breathing, the settling of the building. And these sounds exist only in this moment. And turning your attention now to 4 things you can feel. Maybe it's the texture of your clothing, the temperature of the air on your skin, the support of your chair on the floor beneath you, the sensation of your hands resting. And just acknowledging here that the present moment, right now, is the only place where we can actually make decisions about our finances, not in the imagined future that our anxious mind creates, but here and now. And in this present moment, you are breathing, you are safe right now. You have likely survived financial challenges before, and you likely have resources, whether they are practical skills, relationships, knowledge, or inner resilience that you can draw upon. And as we conclude this practice, remembering here that managing debt anxiety is an ongoing practice, not a one time fix. And so each time you notice yourself spiraling, you can return to your breath, ground yourself in the present moment, and approach your situation with clarity rather than panic. The most productive decisions come from a calm, clear mind rather than an anxious one. And so just taking 3 more deep breaths here. Maybe as you do this, wiggling your fingers and toes to reconnect with your body and the space around you. And then when you are ready, open your eyes and notice how you feel. Thanks for sitting, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for taking the time to practice. If you've enjoyed this practice, please be sure to like and subscribe. You can also join and become a member and receive access to courses and more. Head on over to declutterthemind.com for more and download our free iOS and Android app.